everybody. I just wanted to show you a quick little warm-up that I like to use when I'm either out on the road or if I've got a gig and I've had a busy day and I just need to get my hands and my mind together. These are a couple of things that I do that I hope that'll be very useful for you as well. So I like to start with singles and doubles combinations. So for example, those would be doubles and then followed by singles at the same speed. I like to use my feet when I do these. And you can experiment with different durations of how long you want the doubles and the singles to be. For example, and you can kind of camp out there and just work the threshold and try to disguise the switch from singles to doubles as best you can. So starting with eighth notes, I'm going to move up through triplets and 16th notes and then back down the ladder. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, the nice thing about this exercise is it can be done anywhere. If you have the luxury of having a kit, I would suggest using your feet in combination, but in reality, it's great to do when you're out on the road, in a hotel room and you can't make a whole lot of noise. You could use a pillow, you could use a book, if you have a practice pad, putty pad, any that sort of thing in your room. It's a really good way to kind of just get your hands moving right before you have to go out and play, because sometimes it's very common to fly into a location and you don't have really a chance to sit down and warm up, and the best thing to do is just to get your hands moving a little bit. So that would be phase one of what I like to do to get my hands and mind working. The reason I like to use the bass drum and the hi-hat or apply my feet with it is because in reality I'm going to be aligning my feet with what my hands are playing on the drum set on the stage. So just food for thought. Phase two would be my second go-to favorite exercise to warm up my hands, and that is the Swiss Army triplet. And if you're not familiar with the Swiss Army triplet, it's really simple. It starts with a flam, followed by right-left. Or you can play the opposite, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right. Okay, now the way I like to explore this is more improvisational, where I switch the direction of the rudiment itself, the Swiss Army triplet, or sometimes I'll do something that will allow me to put the emphasis or the flam on different parts of the beat. So in a triplet context, the way I switched over the transition to the left-hand lead, I play a flam tap. Flam tap, for those of you who don't know, flam right, flam left, flam right, flam left. So you can switch it basically anywhere you want to. Now notice that puts it on a different part of the beat. Put it on the upbeat. Now it's on the middle part of the triplet by switching it over using the exact same technique that I applied. So here would be an example of how I would just kind of mill around improvisationally using the Swiss Army triplet as a warm-up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be just an idea. Now, don't get locked in. Just because it's called the Swiss Army triplet doesn't mean that you have to play it in a triplet form. So another gear to that would be to take it up to the 8th note. Or I'm sorry, the 16th note. That's an example of how I would use it. So between those two, you can pretty much get the blood running into your forearms and your hands loose. I would say the important thing to remember is try to keep your hands loose and use the rebound as much as you possibly can. Thirdly, I might improvise kind of a march idea along the lines of Crazy Army, using multiple rudiments and things that I've learned out of my years of marching band experience. So for example, or maybe even try to improvise cadence style snare drum things that represent ideas that maybe Philly Joe would play. So, in a nutshell, with very few little things, you can really do a lot to warm up your hands and your mind. So I would take it even a step farther. The fourth part of my warm-up a lot of times is to apply it to music in some way. So, I like to play along with recordings just to kind of get my head in the space of rhythm sections that I like the vibe of. One in particular that comes to mind is McCoy Tyner live at Newport in 1963 with Mickey Roker and Bob Cranshaw on bass. Two records that I actually like to get into the headspace of is Blue Mitchell's record, The Thing to Do with Al Foster and Chick Corea, and as well as Down With It. Both of them presumably recorded right around the same time, are great vibes that can kind of help you get into that space of not thinking about exercises when you're playing. You got to bridge the gap. You got to remember you're out there playing music, and the idea is not to be thinking technically when you go to that. So hopefully some of the things that I showed you will help you kind of get your head in the space of playing, loosening your hands, but also waking up your mind as well. Okay, so as always, I really appreciate you joining me here on my YouTube channel. If you found this information useful, I would appreciate it if you would just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And please feel free to leave any comments or questions, and I'll do my best to answer those as soon as I possibly can, with either a video or even in the text thread. So hope everybody's doing well, and wishing you all a belated Happy New Year. All right.